Lane Kiffin speaks. The Ole Miss Rebels and Lane Kiffin meet the media today. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Hear what they have to say right after this. Seriously, it's going to be really cool.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to this extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I am your host, Stephen Willis. Thank you very much. It's a post-practice version. It's a Lane Kiffin talks to the media version right here on this Locked On Ole Miss podcast. And thank you for making that your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. So do us a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, and of course, participate in the conversation as well by upvoting the video or commenting in the comments section below. Today, Lane Kiffin, Dayton Wade, and Ivey met the media. It was a pretty normal, standard media day. Lane Kiffin was very excited about the way his team finished. He talked about how that didn't happen very often in the past, but they were able to finish this time and move forward. He also talked about Jayden Daniels as a almost plus Robbie Ashford and what might go into stopping him. Dayton Wade, on his first collegiate touchdown pass, says, I didn't really know what was going on until it actually did, and he didn't really know what to do after he caught the touchdown pass. Does he celebrate, risk getting a 15-yard penalty? He's like, no, I'm not doing that. We are going to be a good soldier and get everything done. And Ivey talks about how it was really cool winning SEC Player Defensive Lineman of the Week, because Quinshon Judkins, again, got SEC Freshman of the Week. That is becoming a regular occurrence. But it was really cool winning that award and to see Rebels winning that over and over again. So that's pretty cool. We're going to have like Lane Kiffin and Ivey and Dayton Wade and all that after we have a short break. But first I want to tell you about SimpliSafe. The numbers don't lie. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen SimpliSafe home security to protect their home. You don't earn the trust of that many people without doing something right. At SimpliSafe, your safety is the only thing that matters. I know because I use SimpliSafe in my own home. They protect you with cutting-edge security technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. Here's why I love it. In 2019, I had brain surgery. Made me a little bit forgetful. Sometimes, you tell me one thing and 2 seconds later, I don't know. So about seemingly once a month, I will walk into the house, forget the alarm is activated. It will go off. I'll get a phone call from SimpliSafe, give my password, and it was like, hey, yeah, I'm sorry. Here it is. I just completely messed up. And they call every single time. Now, if you are as bad as a customer as I am, and they call every time, imagine what they would do for an intruder. They would be on their P's and Q's. They know what's going on. So basically customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplisafe.com/lockedoncollege. Save 20% on your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplisafe.com/lockedoncollege to learn more. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. Also, BetOnline is your number one source for your football betting info this season. You can see down below, Ole Miss is now a 2-point favorite with an over-under of 66.5 in Tiger Stadium this weekend. So tune into that game. They're playing LSU. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a main deal. You can check that out. This line and all lines come courtesy of BetOnline. Check them out as well. BetOnline.net. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right. Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including Spotify and iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. You can say whatever you want to say. Just make sure it's a 5-star review. That review will help others find the show. So if they search Ole Miss podcast, we pop up in the Google machine. That is why we do that. So we talked a little bit about the media session today and how Lane Kiffin was proud they finished. Dayton Wade didn't even know that he was scoring his first collegiate touchdown. And Ivey thought winning the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week was pretty cool. So let's hear from the players and the coaches and all that and hear exactly what they had to say. We'll see you tomorrow.
Recap of the game. I do really enjoy how we finished. I'm very proud of him for that. That's not always been the case this year or over the years, even when we win games. We give them the ball back by not doing a very good job in 4-minute situations, including that team right there. That last time they were in the stadium, we had the ball with a chance to win. So that was really good to come out after the delay to stop them, when they're in 4-down situations, which is always hard. They made actually 2 4th downs during that drive, and we eventually stopped them and got the ball back and didn't give them the ball. So that was good. Obviously there was run issues. Both sides good and bad. For us offensively, it was really good to have that many yards rushing, and 300-yard rushers is a lot of people doing things right, not just the offensive line, and not very many negative runs at all with, besides Tuni's, 67 carries. The other side, very, very poor job of giving up explosive runs. We've been pretty good at limiting explosive plays. We do plus-minus explosive, just like most people do turnovers. We're plus, 40, 46 or 44 or something on the year, which is a very important stat to winning. So we did not do that in the run game on defense. So we need to get better at that. But, it was a good win. Went home against a program we'd not won against in 6 years. It's always cool to break streaks and continue our home streak. I thought the crowd was really good. Obviously we lost some at the lightning delay, but prior to that, it was good and, created a lot of energy to start the game. We went up 21-0, 17 minutes into the game or something.
All right, so it was an early game, so you know how it is in the morning. I'm low-key like Garfield, but, it's like, hey, whatever. We practice, we're a morning team, so we had energy and whatnot. But what I was more so excited about, Ja'Cory Pearson, he actually was at the game, you know what I'm saying? That was the first game he came to this out here, you know what I'm saying? And then he had a great game against them last year, so that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, my boy done went off. I got to go off too, you know what I'm saying? So we played a game. We started drive off. Then the play call, I didn't even realize it happened like back to like I had 2 plays back to back. We just a fast tempo team, so I was just aligning, you know what I'm saying, going with the play call and whatnot. So I run the route. I'm like, oh, I'm naked, like I'm butt naked. You know what I'm saying? I lock eyes with Jackson and he threw it, and I'm like, oh, okay, catch it. I know he trailing, so I try to. That's me snatching, make sure he don't, you know what I'm saying, knock it out at the end. Snatching. I'm like, oh, I just scored. You know what I'm saying? I was finna celebrate. I was like, nah, I ain't trying to get no flag. It's the first one. I got to make sure you know what I'm saying? Game just started. I ain't trying to hear nobody's mouth. So I was like, oh, snap. I'm walking. I'm like, it's just like, I didn't know what to do. That's what everybody keeps saying, like, what you was doing? I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I just scored. And then we still had a lot of game left, so it was like, yeah, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I literally just found out. Coach Joyner told me, and I just didn't even know. And then I was just no, actually, my guy right here, he told me, and I just was shocked. And then I went to Twitter, saw, and then just retweeted it. Saw Quinshawn won offensive too, so super proud of him.
Well, obviously you got to be realistic in any level, but especially the SEC. That's not going to happen, and whatever they said, that's, I think, the most yards in 10 years or something in SEC versus SEC games. So we've had 2 really explosive run games, in Georgia Tech and in that game. But, we've got to be consistent, run the ball really well. Those numbers aren't going to be like that every week. And, people coach. And so they gear up to stop certain plays once you run them. So it's not like we were just running normal inside zone and making all those yards. There were a lot of schematical perimeter runs and crack blocking and things in there that, people will coach up. You don't get to, just keep running the same plays and they work very long, in my opinion.
I pretty much come into every game expect the unexpected. So I just basically pride myself on being ready whenever. Everybody always asks me you ready? You ready? You ready? I be like, I'm stay ready. I stay ready. I stay ready. That's just my natural response to someone asking me, you ready? So when the opportunity presents itself, I'm ready to capitalize because I stay ready. You know what I'm saying? So that's my approach to it.
I mean, we just got to come play more physical, be able to make our checks, make our reads, and you just go out there, play more violent, and have a better game.
I think we started really well. I want to say 4 series in a row to start the game, and and then we jumped out of some gaps and we missed some tackles, and that's usually what goes on in the run game for explosive runs. And we have a lot of people up there, and so when it breaks, they break bad. In what we were doing, because we were up there a lot because of the run and because of the quarterback we were playing, and so the problem with that is when it breaks, there's not a lot of people back there. I thought he played great the other night, running and throwing, and have seen him before. When he was transferring and stuff, just seeing him over time, and very explosive player. And then they seem to have got the receivers going, and really were great on third down and great in general, whenever they were throwing the ball.